Hey, yo, what's up? So, I wanted to talk about something that I've talked about before. The false promise of relationships in life, right? People always talk about stuff like, later on in life, bro, when you get older, you'll have more responsibilities like family, a kids, a wife, a girlfriend, that kind of stuff, right? And it almost it pretty much just rubs me the wrong way because it gives the false impression that just because you get older, a relationship is almost just bound to happen, right? Just it's a whole just exists, bro. It almost basically just assumes that all you have to do, or that everyone is just guaranteed a relationship, and it's just a normal part of life, bro. Just exist and it'll happen. But the honest truth is that it's not a guarantee. It's a false promise that society and normies make, right? It's not guaranteed. If it was guaranteed, then I wouldn't be making these videos, right? If it was guaranteed, I'd be I don't know, hanging out or talking to my girlfriend or wife right now, and not talking to a camera about how much of a reject I am, how women don't like me, right? So yeah, so again, just talking to a chat GPT because I have no, I don't have a girlfriend to actually talk to, so I just talk to my, basically my phone, right? So I tell it, why do people talk like relationships are a guaranteed thing later in life? They say when you get older and get a girlfriend or a wife, they're talking as if it's a guarantee and it'll just happen no matter what. I am 30 and I still have never had anything close to a girlfriend. People talk like relationships are guaranteed because for most people, it has been the default pattern of life, but that default doesn't apply to everyone. And the way society talks about it actually hides how many people don't follow that path at all. Here's the breakdown in plain English. People assume the average path equals everyone's path. Most people date at least a little in their teens or early 20s. And when they say, when you get older, when you have a wife, when you meet your girl, they're not making a scientific prediction. They're projecting the life they experienced onto you. Humans do that automatically. They can't imagine the alternative of someone reaching 30 with zero experience because they have never lived it. And there you go. That's exactly what normies do in the comments all the time. Basically for every video, right? Whenever there's a guy who says, I'm whatever, the amateurs come out on YouTube and say, I'm 20, never had a girlfriend. I'm 25, never had a girlfriend, right? Like, that's amateur hours. It's like, but, whatever, who cares? But people will still tell them, oh, bro, just give it time, bro. Just give it a few more years, bro. And they'll still do that. They'll still do that on like 30-year-old, kissless, hugless, handholdless virgin videos, right? You just give it time, bro, because they just assume it'll happen eventually. You just need to wait a little bit more, bro. Just wait, bro. Just give it a moment, you know. And yeah, they do that automatically. They're just projecting their life experience onto you. That's why they also say, hey, you want to stop being an incel? Just go outside, bro. Just talk to women, bro. As if it's so easy, as if women actually would be receptive to you talking to them, right? These people just project their stuff, their experience. Oh, just go outside, bro. It's like, oh, what? You went to school and girls just didn't just talk to you for no reason? Like, what? It's like I had a guy on my other channel basically say that to me. It's like what happens during your conversations, Like, let's say you're in an elevator and a girl makes a comment or talks to you, tries to make small talk. It's like, what? Like, bro, women never have ever tried to make just like plain small talk with me or anything like that. See, it's like the people, these people project their life experiences. It's like, oh, I thought it was normal for women to try to make small talk or whatever like that. It's like, no, women don't. Women never, women don't acknowledge my existence in real life. Unless they have to during forced interactions, right? Forced interactions are the only time women basically have ever interacted with me. People underestimate how much chance and circumstance matters. Dating success isn't purely confidence, personality. It'll happen eventually, bro. It's also your environment, how many social circles you've been in, whether you were liked early on, brutal. Whether you got positive feedback or negative feedback, another brutal pill to swallow. How you look relative to your environment. What basically looks inflation, I guess, if you're in the wrong place, right? Timing, luck, random exposure, and yeah, like that's basically what all of life is, right? Just genetics and luck. You need both of them in your favor to have a just general success in a lot of things, right? It's like you don't need to have the perfect genetics, right? I'm not gonna cope and say, yeah, you need to have 10 out of 10 Chad genetics, bro, and then that's the only way you'll get a girlfriend. No. But your genetics need to be deemed as good enough by the women, right? And if they're not, then it's it's just game over, bro. Never began. Then yeah, you also need the luck of actually having the luck to actually run into and encounter and expose yourself to women that find your genetics attractive, right? And when I mean expose yourself, I mean, come into contact with, not like, indecent exposure, right? Like, just don't be an indecent exposure cell. People overestimate agency and underestimate randomness. Not AKA genetics, right? You don't have as much agency as you'd like to believe, and normies hate that, right? They don't like it because when something works well for them, right? When a system, belief system, or whatever whatever kind of system works really well, people don't really like to question it unless they're self-aware. And the just world fallacy, that belief system works really well for normies who can get a girlfriend because it allows them to basically delude themselves into thinking, hey, I have a good personality, I'm a good person, and therefore I'm able to get a girlfriend. You are not able to get a girlfriend because you're a bad person, right? It makes getting a girlfriend and getting into a relationship a moral thing, right? And women will do it too. They will delude themselves into thinking that, they're somehow telepaths. They're magical beings, bro. They're higher beings that, they can just sense personality and all this crazy stuff. When in reality, it's like, no, they're not, right? It's like you can't have it both ways either. It's like, oh, just treat women like people, bro. But then, oh, but at the same time, we know women will also say, oh, just treat us like people, bro. But then come around and say, it's like, oh, women can have these magic senses and can, the sixth sense that can detect confidence, bro. Oh, and personality. But if they really did have one, then why do they get into relationships with people with, bad personalities, like abusers, right? It really doesn't make sense. It's basically a way to, like I said, moralize relationships and the ability to get into them and, make themselves seem as make themselves a morally superior being to the unattractive male that they're trying to talk down on. If someone dated easily at 18, they assume everyone eventually hits that stage. Brutal, right? It's like dating was supposed to be easy at 18, bro. I'm what is it? 12 years past that, and it's never been easy. It basically hasn't. Yeah, saying it's not easy is like an understatement, right? It's basically impossible because, like I said, never dated. People avoid acknowledging uncomfortable realities. Bro. Brutal. It makes them uncomfortable to imagine someone never getting chosen, someone reaching 30 without a single romantic experience, someone realizing it's not guaranteed at all, someone realizing it never began. you know, so they say comforting cliches like "your time will come" or "you'll find someone." I should have read those. Your time will come, bro. You'll find someone, bro. Because the alternative feels harsh. Culturally, we treat relationships like milestones you unlock. Like it's middle school, your first crush, high school dating, 20s hookups or relationships, 30s serious partner or marriage. So when someone doesn't hit those milestones, society says things like, you just haven't met the right person yet, bro. It'll happen when you get older, bro. You'll settle down eventually, bro. Not because it's true, because it fits the script better. And yeah, and so let's so there's these milestones, right? And if you don't achieve those milestones, people will negatively judge you for it, right? Whether you like it or not, whether people admit it or not, it happens. It's the whole thing, like I talked about before. It's okay or more acceptable to never have had a job at 18, but never having a job at 30, people will judge you, right? Because you're supposed to have some work experience by 30, right? In theory. So when you don't, you're gonna get judged. And when you're 18, some people will still judge you because it'd be like, oh, bro, maybe you should have started at like 14 or 13 or whatever, right? But, it's more acceptable. It's more understandable. At 30, it isn't. They're going to be like, dude, what? The same thing with relationships. Like, oh, you never kissed someone at 18? It's like, they may, it's a lot more understandable. You never kissed someone at 30? Bro, you're a weirdo, right? Then people will say, "Oh, bro, you're an ER or whatever," right? It's like they'll just assume you are the worst possible thing, just because of something out of your control. Like, do these people? I don't think these people understand, right? Experience is gate kept by women, right? Because you can't decide to, oh, I just want to kiss someone, right? I can't decide, oh, I just want to kiss someone, right? I need a woman to actually want to kiss me for me to actually get experience kissing, right? Or with anything in a relationship, right? I need a woman to, agree and consent. And if you don't have that, then you will never gain experience, right? These people are very delusional. They assume growth plus age equals attractiveness. This is a myth people repeat. Once you're older, you're more mature, more financially stable, you'll find someone. This might be true if the person was already getting interest before. Everything is an attractive multiplier. But if someone had zero interest at 15, 18, 23, 28, 30, age doesn't magically rewrite your history. It never began, bro. They don't understand your reality. Most people have no frame of reference for never being flirted with, never being chosen, never having a girl show interest, no dates, no chances, no opportunities, never began. Decades of invisibility. It's over, bro. So the default to platitudes because they literally don't know what your life feels like, right? It's like your life is such an alien experience to uh, basically everyone else, right? Because, be honest, right? If you're a normie and you're watching the video, do you really you don't have a frame of reference for living up to 30 and never having a girl ever, flirt with you, even form basic small talk with you, right? You may think like, Like, oh, bro, but it's like, well, maybe some girls eventually shown some kind of sign. It's like, no, girls have always avoided sitting next to me, making any kind of small talk, just avoided being near me at all, right? And I already tried it, right? It's like I took a shower, I spent hundreds of dollars on cologne, all for it to have no effect. And you know what happened? I know once I let my friend borrow some, and you know what he told me? He said this girl complimented him on it. And I had worn it before, and no girl had ever said anything to me. So, that just goes to show, man. It's a honest to God, brutal reality out there. The big difference between me and him is just going to be looks. And this was, I guess, before I was like too black pilled. And, I didn't think I was, the legit, like 3 out of 10. I thought, maybe I'm just, average, or maybe, yeah, just like average, bro. But either it's nope, I was wrong. And it's a blow to every guy's ego. It's like, because some guys will think, oh yeah, bro, I'm a 7 out of 10, bro, I'm above average. But it's like, bro, if you were above average, you wouldn't be a 30-year-old virgin. Or like, I guess when you're in college and you're just like, you wouldn't be like 25, or no, I guess whatever, like that. You wouldn't be kissless, hugless, handholdless. You wouldn't get to that stage of life and be in that position, right? If you're an attractive guy, you're gonna have girls at least wanting to, date you, or do something with you. You're not gonna get to them. You're not gonna be hugless for sure. Hugless, if you're an attractive guy past the age of 20, come on, bro. That's that is a gigacope, to be honest. And I hate how this phone fell asleep. I have to re-record the screen. So, let's get back to it. And the truth, relationships are not guaranteed. Not at 18, not at 25, not at 30, not at 40. They are common, not universal. You're not crazy. You're not imagining your situation. What you've experienced is rare, but it's real. And it doesn't magically correct itself just by waiting. Whatever. Let's see. Why do some people never get into relationships just by living their life? The whole just exist, bro. There are real structural reasons why some people can live their life normally, go to school, go to work, exist in the world, and still never end up in a relationship. It's not because they're lazy, broken, or not trying hard enough. It's because the system that naturally funnels most people into dating never forms around them. Here's the real explanation, the one nobody says out loud. Early life randomness sets a trajectory. It's like, so basically just be at the right place at the right time, bro. Have you ever tried that? Basically just have the right genetics, bro. Have the right genetics, be at the right place, be at the right time. Bro, it's like, didn't you get the memo? Silly Inkwell. For most people, the first experience comes from being liked in school. Never happened. Having someone flirt with them. Never happened. Being invited to hang out. Never happened. Being chosen for a school dance prom partner project. Brutal. Never happened. Being called cute or hot by peers. Bro, okay, I think maybe at some point I said it on my other channel, but I know I had a Spanish class once, and they were teaching the word, like the words for like being hot and cold, like feeling and temperature wise. And it's so brutal that the teacher would use me as an example, and said my name is not hot, and they meant it as the temperature, like not being hot, as in like not being hot and sweaty. But obviously this is high school, so people thought, oh, funny, because they said you're not hot, right? And then everyone laughs, right? And they laugh because it's true, right? Imagine the teacher basically publicly humiliating you, saying you are not hot. It's like, bro, I already know. It's like you didn't have to say it. It's like, that's kind of the brutal reality. It's like, and at that point, I wasn't super black pilled, because I still thought I had a chance. In that class, I kind of was basically just doing favors. Like whenever, because I sat next to this girl that I liked, and I sat closer to the edge, and I would always volunteer as a way to talk to her, to take her paper up, like turn it in, because we would finish it around the same time, because I would help her, because, I liked her. She didn't like me, obviously, or else I wouldn't be, they wouldn't have made that joke about me, if if I was attractive and the girl liked me, whatever. But yeah, so I always took up her paper, and she didn't end up liking me, and I always helped her and gave her answers because I was hoping she'd like me, but no, right? Never did. Brutal. Just brutal. So if those things never happened, you gotta know on ramp into dating. It's over. And that lack of early validation snowballs into adulthood. Social circles determine opportunities. Most relationships form through friend groups, school, extracurriculars, college, early workplace socialization. If you never had a big friend circle, girls around you in school, mixed gender hangouts, parties, clubs, sports, college, dorm life. So, I never had a big friend circle. I only had male only friend groups because, I'm a loser and girls just never liked me. So that was never an option, right? How you can't hang out with the girls if they don't even want to hang out with you platonically. But you can't say oh bro, you just had a bad personality, cuz how could I have a bad personality if other guys were okay to, hang out with me, right? It just doesn't make sense. The big difference is looks basically, right? And, I actually did have college dorm life for freshman year, and guess what? Still no girls, right? And people be like, oh, bro, it's so easy to get laid. You just have to live on campus, right? And the girls will just be so horny and whatever. It's like, nope, that never happened, right? It's like nothing even remotely close, right? It's like, it just totally brutal, right? It's like girls just never really liked me. It's like, and like it said earlier, people really just don't understand that kind of life. They don't understand the life of a guy that just never receives any kind of interaction, right? Not even minor little small talk. So then when you never had the natural social intersections where people tend to meet partners, no social exposure, no romantic exposure, but even then again, being exposed to women doesn't guarantee anything, right? Because I've been in classes in college where I was like one of five guys, and it was like a class of 30, so it was like around like 20 plus girls, and like maybe four other guys, right? And the girls still didn't like me. They still didn't choose to talk to me first. They did talk to the other guys first. They didn't talk to me first. They never talked to me. They talked to the other guys though. So it's like, and they were all strangers. So it's like, what's the difference? The looks. So it's like you can't say, "Oh, bro," but whatever, blah blah, some excuse. Girls have just never liked me. Some people never get initial attraction from anyone. Here's a harsh reality society avoids. If someone isn't seen as physically attractive by the average women in their environment, they get fewer interactions, less friendliness, less approachability, less warmth, fewer risks taken on them, fewer chances to show personality. Oh, you don't have a chance to show your personality because women don't like the way you look. But people will say personality matters more than looks. But I was going to say, oh man, women don't like you because you have a bad personality. But you never showed your personality because women never got to know your personality and never gave you an opportunity to show your personality because they never liked your looks. This isn't your fault. It's just how human instincts work. Yeah, it's like no one. It's just saying the truth, but people will take it as you talking bad about women and label you a misogynist when you're just saying the truth. Shyness plus no validation equals a self-reinforcing loop. If someone is shy, introverted, anxious, quiet, uncertain around women, especially because they have no experience, aka undesirable guys. Women become less likely to approach or engage, which leads to more inexperience. And then, yeah, it's the Matthew effect, right? Of, Chad gets more women, virgin loser gets nothing and gets nothing again. Meanwhile, Chad keeps on slaying. You keep on, I don't know, slaying dragons is playing D&D. While he slays the poon, right? It becomes a closed loop. People aren't rewarded for putting themselves out there. Most relationship havers don't do anything extraordinary. That's what people who have relationships don't like to admit. That because it ruins their whole moral superiority. Like, I am in a relationship, I am morally superior to you, Inkwell. um, they get flirted with, invited to places, matched with, chosen, complimented, approached. That positive feedback encourages them to keep engaging. Someone who gets zero response eventually stops trying because nothing ever happens. People just don't like to be self-aware and admit that, right? Timing and luck matter more than people admit. One wrong school environment, or just one wrong life. One wrong life with the wrong genetics, bro. One bad social group, one stretch of isolation, 1 year of being the odd one out can radically reroute someone's entire romantic life. Yeah, if things were different, things would be different, right? And just that's the thing. One wrong feature, one wrong thing, right? And your whole life is different. There's a reason that phrase, millimeters of bone make male models, is the thing, right? Because it's legitimately something so tiny, and what you think is so insignificant can make such a huge difference, right? It can make a huge positive or negative difference, right? A few millimeters of bone can change everything, right? It's actually crazy. Bone cells, right? Some people's default life path simply doesn't include women. Sounds like my life. Not because they're unworthy, but because their routine never intersects with potential partners in a meaningful way. Examples: work, home, gym, male dominated jobs, no college experience, few hobbies involving mixed groups, living in low social areas, small social circles. This is extremely common among men, especially undesirable men, I'm sure. He can be a good person doing normal things and still never cross paths with women who see you as a potential partner. Like, I feel like that's a huge cope. Maybe that can be true for normies, but not for me, right? It's like I can't be that delusional. I went to college, so my life intersected with plenty of women. More women go to college than guys. So I came across a lot of women, and none of them ever liked me. None of them ever showed any kind of interest. So I can safely just say it's over for me, right? Or never began. Being invisible becomes the norm. For some people, every environment silently teaches them. Women don't notice you. Women don't choose you. Women sit near other guys. Women never initiate with you. Women act neutral or distant. Women don't like you. And the brain learns relationships are not something that happens for me. Not because you did anything wrong, but because the world never gave you an entry point. Yeah, I wasn't able to find the entry point, and that's why my first girlfriend left me. Brutal truth, right? The painful truth. Some people never get into relationships simply by living life because they were never noticed, never chosen, never validated, never included, never approached, never flirted with, never placed in situations or anything that spark. And once you're 25 to 30 with zero experience, the gap becomes even harder to cross. What is it? It's over, bro. I don't even. It's over. Welcome to the clown world. And yeah, after that, there's no point in going on, bro. It's like, that's all she wrote. Basically, yeah. The older you get, the harder it ever is to get into anything. And you may as well just call it quits, right? To some extent, right? I mean, you can always cope and think there's hope, but so you just got to be real. Like, yeah, there's always that greater than 1% chance, but that doesn't mean it's or greater than 0% chance, right? There's always a greater than 0% chance. But, come on, bro. That it's a cope. I mean, I understand it's a cope. It's like it won't happen, bro. It's like greater than 0, less than 1. So, yeah. The older I get and eventually um it's crazy that one day I'll be making I'm a 35-year-old virgin or I guess 35 years old and never had a girlfriend, right? Cuz technically I'm not a virgin even though I guess I don't know just putting it in the hole like for a couple seconds of once count. I mean technically it does, right? But I mean, was it I don't even know, man. Whatever. Maybe my virginity will regrow back and then I can by that time then I can be another 35-year-old kissless, hugless, handholdless virgin. But yeah, I've said enough. You understand the point. Basically, yeah. People will give you false promises and just assume and project their life experience onto you and say everyone gets into a relationship when they get older, bro. But that's obviously not true, or else I wouldn't be making these videos. So that's kind of it for now. Later.